Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Yachts here. It's Saturday morning, and we're on the off season. So, on off season schedule, we do a thing called the Share the Love Club on Saturdays, where we show appreciation to somebody associated to the Toronto Raptors in some sort of way. And today, I've decided our Share the Love Club, and I decided this before last night's game, just so y'all know that, should be for halftime of the season with us on the Raptors, Davion Mitchell. That's right. We're sharing the love for Baylor's Davion Mitchell. In some ways, Davion was a very useful player for the Raptors in a couple different ways. And he was a total pro about his time here on the Raptors. He really did enjoy playing for Toronto, but he's very happy in Miami also. And I feel like we did him a solid. First of all, we helped him get out of Sacramento, a place where he's just spinning his wheels, not getting the opportunities he probably deserved because of people in the depth chart above him. People like De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk. People were just in his way to get a lot of minutes. And instead of going in the right direction of playing more and more, he was not, and stagnating. So this last offseason, Masai Ujiri did a deal with the Kings, and he fleeced them, basically. He traded to get Sasha Venchenkoff, Davion Mitchell, Jamal Shed, the pick that we took for Jamal Shed, for Jalen McDaniels. It was an absolute fleece. It was the fleece of last summer from Masai, fleecing the Kings and getting the situation, partly because of the headache that Venchenkoff had become, because he was holding out and he didn't want to play because he wanted to go back to Greece because he hated the NBA. We took that problem on, but in the deal, we had such good assets as far as Davion Mitchell and the pick that turned out to become Jamal Shed. All came in that deal. So we basically got two backup point guards in this deal when we dealt Jalen McDaniels, a player who did not do jack shit for us last season and was playing in the G League most of this past season. Value, fleecing, Masai Ujiri. Now, Davion wasn't on our team for very long. He was only on our team for a half year, but I feel like he was such a fun Raptor. He had a good personality. He interacted with the fans really well. He took really kindly to the 905 and frequently went to 905 games while he was a Raptor, showing support for those guys in that way. You know, he's just a real one, man. And in some ways, Davion, even though you're Heat now and you've successfully gotten to the playoffs by having a kick-ass overtime last night, you're always going to be a Raptor alumni, man, because you put in time and you wore our jersey and you took the court, and the fans love you, man. Honestly, that really impressed me this past season, Davion Mitchell, how you went to the 905 games so frequently and showed so much support down there. You know, part of the reason why Davion Mitchell was on our team was insurance, was also mentoring. You know, Davion Mitchell is best friends with Jacoby Walter. Jacoby Walter came into this league this year as a rookie from Baylor, and his mentor from Baylor before him was Davion Mitchell. So in the early parts of the year, especially when Jacoby was hurt and he had the collarbone injury and a couple other things going on with him, Davion Mitchell was a great veteran mentor to be around him and keep his head up, and just to somebody he could trust. You know, that really does help with young players when somebody in the organization, somebody they already know and they can trust. And that is what Mitchell provided for Walter very early in this season. I don't know how many fans of the Raptors realize this, that the Baylor connection was important for Walter's orientation to the league, and Davion Mitchell showing him the ropes was very helpful for the first half of the season. The other thing that was great about Davion was he added up to winning. It was a weird thing, just like Jakob adds up to winning, Chris Boucher adds up to winning. Well, Davion Mitchell is that kind of player that adds up to winning. He's a role player. He is not a fully developed player as far as on the offensive side. He really is a defensive juggernaut, and he is a force. And in some ways, he's going to be very helpful in this first round against the Cleveland Cavaliers for the Miami Heat, because he can dog his namesake, D. Mitchell, on the other side. Because they're going to need him to do that if they're going to have any chance to beat Cleveland in the first round. So Davion Mitchell's defensive energy is infectious. In some ways, the stuff that Davion was doing at the beginning of the season with his defense was a pre-foreshadowing of Scotty Barnes doing that in his physical body, the way that Davion plays. If anything, having a half season of Davion Mitchell on this team was helpful to Scotty Barnes to see the kind of level of intensity and defensive doggedness that you can have, a level you can go to. And Scotty may have been a little influenced by Davion and his essence and the way he carries himself. So it's very worthwhile, very, very worthwhile to have his presence around for a while. I mean, what do you think he taught Jamal Shead? What do you think Davion Mitchell taught Jamal Shead this season on the Raptors? Why do you think Jamal Shead got advanced this season to a degree? The great developing of Darko, the great leadership of people like Garrett Temple and Scotty Barnes around him, and Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell taught Jamal Shead some proprietary stealing kind of stuff. Like, this is how I do it, Jamal. Just watch me. Just watch me a bit. Oh, yeah, I see what you're doing, Davion. Do you mind if I steal that? No, man, I love you, bro. You're my guy. And I've never looked at you as competition. You're just a friend, man. Thanks, man. I will use that after you leave. Yeah, and Jamal did so well. Davion Mitchell wasn't necessary anymore. I mean, in some ways, like Doug Smith said on Blue Skies yesterday after Davion was kicking ass yesterday against the Hawks, you know, Davion Mitchell was never long to be on the Raptors immediately from when he came here. But the whole time he was on the Raptors, he is truly professional and top-notch as a Raptor the whole time. And that's just the damn truth. And I want to share love for him for that. I mean, you're a legend, bro. Just like Bismack, just like Kawhi, just like Dennis Schroeder. There's different Raptors who only come here briefly. They're not here for very long, maybe a half season, maybe a season. And, you know, we'll never forget you guys. You know, Kelly Olynyk is another one. Kelly was only on the Raptors for a year now. Happy birthday, Kelly Olynyk, by the way. And, yeah, it's just sometimes you just get your time with us, and that's it. Not everybody's going to be a 7-year Raptor. Not everybody's going to be a 5-year Raptor. Some people are going to be half year. Some of them are going to be a year. But we still stake the claim that you're part of our alumni, and you wore the jersey at one point. So you are a part of our nation going forward. And Davion, you can come back to Toronto, and you will get love. You know you will. You know you will. Yeah, I'm so proud of Davion Mitchell. In fact, he's a big-time player. He's a player that shines in the big-time moment. And that was evidenced this week in the 2 play-in games that the Miami Heat won this week. You know, the Miami Heat made history last night. They're the first ever 10th seed to make the playoffs. No team that is seeded 10th in the play-in has ever gotten through the gauntlet of the play-in, and now Miami has done that. Miami's done some real interesting work in the play-in. Let's just put it that way. They have done things from the play-in into the playoffs, like going all the way to the finals a couple years ago. You know, that's very interesting. So, yeah, kudos to Eric Spoelstra, Heat Culture, and Davion Mitchell for closing the deal last night. In fact, Davion outscored the Hawks completely in the overtime period last night. He got 3 3-pointers in the overtime period for 9 points, and the Hawks only scored 8 points. So single-handedly, Davion Mitchell took over in the overtime and won the game for the Miami Heat with a little help of Tyler Hero also. But, yeah, fantastic stuff. Very, very proud of Davion Mitchell, former Toronto Raptor. Thank you for all you did, man. That was very, very smart. Think about the timing of what Bobby and Masai did with the acquisition of Davion Mitchell and how much they got out of it. Seriously, like what I just described, a couple of those things. He mentored Jacoby Walter. He mentored Jamal Shead. He taught some energy to other guys on the team about this is how you take it to another level of dogged defense and playing like Davion would. You know, Scotty, I'm telling you, Scotty Barnes' defense got better this year, partly because Mitchell was around him. I'm telling you, the whole team in some ways got better for that. And, you know, he provided an insurance for behind Emmanuel Quickley. When Emmanuel was hurt at the beginning of the season, Davion had to start for the Raptors, and Shead wasn't ready yet. Shead wasn't ready to do that role, to step in the starter spot, because he's a rookie green, fresh off the draft. So in some ways, you know, you needed Davion there to be very, very helpful in the very beginning of the season when we're playing the hardest part of our schedule. Emmanuel Quickley is out, and Davion Mitchell starts. And the stats showed that when Davion Mitchell was starting for us, we won a lot. In fact, that was the thing about him. He equaled winning. And in some ways, you know, if the Raptors were signaling that they were going to have to lose more in the second half of the season because the season's a wash and whatever, worry about draft standings, you know, Davion traded at the trade deadline. Well, that made sense because he probably would have helped us get more games. And who knows, maybe we're having more wins than the San Antonio Spurs because Davion Mitchell's on our team at the end of the year. So I salute you, Davion Mitchell of Hinesville, Georgia. That's right. You're a badass, man. And you know what? Other players in this league wish they could play defense like you. Other people should be watching tape of you and stealing notes. Some of it is that you just like built like that and you got that athletic specs like that. Not everybody can be as quick and strong and as fast as you in that combination at that level. And listen, man, I wish you had stuck around in Toronto a little longer because I feel like if you've been around us with Darko, the Darko development would have taken your offensive game to new levels. But this is the thing. Davion's one of these weird players. Like, he may not shoot very well most games, ordinary games. But when the game matters, homeboy steps up. And he shoots a high percentage usually then. I noticed that with the Raptors. When he's like really wanted to, and he's really locked in, he can score and do stuff to help the team with scoring, like he did for the Heat last night. So in some ways, I wonder what would have happened if he'd stayed in the Raptors a couple years. Where would his offensive game possibly been developed to under the guidance of Rajakovic? Well, I wonder. I don't know. We'll never know. But you know what? He fits like a glove with Miami. I don't hate on this. In some ways, I don't really like Miami Heat culture overall, but in some ways, I respect Heat culture. And the aspects of Heat culture that I respect are the ones embodied in Davion Mitchell. So it's like, it's a perfect fit. I know. In some ways, you could have told me when Davion Mitchell came in the league and I saw his player type that he's a Heat culture player. And he revealed it when he got traded to them that in some ways, Masai and Bobby made his dreams come true because Davion Mitchell always wanted to play for the Miami Heat. He wanted to immediately as soon as he came in the NBA. And well, now he's where he wants to be. He didn't mind being in Toronto, and he would have stayed in Toronto if he had to be here. But, Masai and Bobby did him a solid. They really did. They sent him to the number one team he wanted to be on. And, boy, it's a great fit. It really, really is. Davion Mitchell should play for the Miami Heat for years to come because he is the embodiment of what Eric Spoelstra built down there over the decades. And, Miami Heat fans should love Davion, honestly. I'm pretty sure they do. After last night, I would think they do. So, y'all, I'm asking y'all to share the love for Davion with me. What do y'all love about Davion? Do y'all have any moments or memories from this season of him being on the Raptors and something that you just remember? Please share it in the comments. We're sharing the love for Davion Mitchell, an overtime hero for the Miami Heat in the play-in last night. Fantastic stuff, man. So proud of you, guy. So proud of you, Davion. And Raptors Nation will appreciate you and love you going forward. When we do the 40th or 50th anniversary of our team, we want you to come by and say hi. How about that? Come say hi and wave to the crowd after your playing career is over. You can be a Raptors alumni still. Trust me. You can still do it. Trevor Jay's here first in the chat today with his words of wisdom. Good morning, Commissioner Jay, Commissioner of Fun for this channel. He's saying sometimes you just have to look up and smile and say, I know that was you, God. Thank you. Because sometimes your mind needs more time to accept what your heart already knows. Do everything with a good heart and expect nothing in return, and you will never be disappointed. Wow. Yeah, you know what? Having gratitude and thankfulness and showing appreciation for the Creator and the Lord above, Mother Nature, whatever you believe in, is important because in some ways in your life, you can't be an egotist. If you're an egotist like the President of the United States and only cares about like me, and people need to kiss my ass and all this kind of stuff, you're a weak, shallow person that has a lot of character flaws. You have to put something above yourself. This is one of the main things I've learned in AA since I got sober from alcohol 15 years ago, is that you cannot have your ego be number one in the world. You cannot be the most self-important person in the world. You're flawed and you're not right. You need to put somebody above you. And usually that's Jesus Christ or God above. And check your ego. You have to have a higher power, something that is out there that's more powerful than you, that you have to respect and you have to, try and abide by. Because if you have a higher power that you can be, doting and grateful towards, you'll be more well-rounded. You'll be a little bit less egotistical, and you'll be more humble. And that is very, very, very important. Thank you, God. Thank you for another day. Thank you for the trees and the air that I breathe. Thank you for the food on my table. Thank you for the shelter over my head. And, you get the gratefulness just for the basic necessities and build from there. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for the Raptor Freak family. You got to have gratitude, man. You got to have gratitude. Thank you, Trevor J. I appreciate your words of wisdom. Trevor's saying Davion take down the Hawks by himself in overtime. Good defense and shooting. He put the off night effect on the Hawks. That's right, off night. Off night. How'd he do against old Trae Young last night? Let's go look a little bit here. We'll look at the box score real quick. Trae obviously is high usage, and I often complain that I hate these high usage players that shoot a lot of shots and don't shoot a good percentage. Trae got a double-double, 29 points, 11 assists. He was a -9 with 9 of 22 shooting. So, yeah, not 50% shooting, but not horrible shooting. Trae didn't shoot absolutely horrible. But, overall, the Hawks shot 43% and the Heat shot 50%. And often, once again, the team that shoots the higher percentage does win basketball games. There's different factors. The team that rebounds the more, the team that makes more threes, the team that maybe shoots better at the free throw line. But yeah, the team that shoots the best at field goal percentage, well, they've been winning all these playing games so far this week. And that's how it went down last night. Yeah, Davion single-handedly outscored the Hawks in the overtime last night. Fantastic stuff. Trevor's saying the Bucks in Indiana play at 1 p.m., first playoff game. So we're going to start off with Gary versus Pascal. In the first game of the playoffs for this year, it'll be the Milwaukee Bucks traveling to Indiana to play. They're in Indiana, right? Isn't that right? Are they in Milwaukee or Indiana? Where's the game taking place, Trevor? I want to see that real quick. They'll be in Indiana. Yeah, Indiana is the higher seed. So, yeah, Siakam, let's go. In some ways, I'm rooting for the Pacers in this one. I love Gary, but the Bucks, in some ways, I'm like, man, yeah, they won one recently in recent years. Why don't we get the Pacers elevated more and get back to the Eastern Conference Finals and hopefully get past the Eastern Conference Finals and get to the finals? That's what I want to see for the Pacers. So let's go Pacers. Rooting for the Pacers today. That's right. Trevor's saying that the Grizzlies put the WrestleMania beatdown on the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, let's see this. Right. All right. This weekend's WrestleMania, and they're going to have the big wrestling matches tonight and tomorrow. And, well, there was some WrestleMania last night, Trevor's saying, because right away in the beginning of the Grizzlies-Mavericks game in the play-in last night, the Grizzlies jumped out a huge lead and kicked their ass. And, well, now they beat their ass for the whole entire game. Ja Morant valiantly playing hurt, getting out there. He could have easily said, I'm not playing, and you know what, we're going to lose this playing game, and you know what, I don't care because the season's over. But I have to respect Ja Morant for showing up, even though he's kind of hurt, and carrying his team and helping his team get the win. You know what? The Mavericks are a disappointment. There's a stupid ass article on ESPN right now saying that the Mavericks, it's so dumb, man. I don't get this, man. The Mavericks are saying they're proud of their tumultuous year as they end in the play-in. Yeah, that is so stupid and full of shit. How can you be proud of your year, Dallas Mavericks? I don't think your fans are. Whoever's saying they're proud of what the Mavericks did this year, it's egotist, like we're talking about today, and it's full of themselves, and they're not being real about the real world because y'all had a hell of a failure of a year. Seriously, think about this. Let me lay this down for you. You're not as big as a disappointment as the Sixers. You're not as big a disappointment as the Suns, but you're pretty damn close, Mavericks. Let's just put it fucking that way. Is y'all saying y'all are proud of your season and this tumultuous shit? No, your fans are not proud. Your fans are not proud. I don't know if the players are proud of this shit. I mean, seriously, who's proud? Nico Harrison? Because he's an egotist and he fucking traded the franchise player in the middle of the season and his fans all hate him now? Like, seriously, who's proud of this pile of shit that the Mavericks went from the finals last year to missing the playoffs this year? Why? How you can be proud of that, Mavericks ownership or front office? How the fuck can you be proud of that? Y'all were in the finals last year and y'all didn't even make the playoffs as of yesterday. I don't see how you can be proud of that. How can you be proud of yourself for trading a once-in-a-lifetime franchise player and Luka Doncic to the Lakers? How the fuck are you proud of that? That's what I'm saying. Dallas Mavericks, you're going to announce, oh, we're out. We lost the Grizzlies. We got blown out, but we're proud of ourselves for this year. What? You're proud of yourselves for what you did to the fans? You're proud of yourselves for destroying the Mavericks franchise? Oh my gosh. ESPN Spin Machine. Man, y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. I wouldn't be proud if I was Mavericks owners or GM. First of all, GM, because you traded Luka. And second of all, owners, because you're genocidal idiots. that are fucking funding the war in Israel to fucking destroy the Palestinians. So it's like, how do you have any pride in your organization? You're fucking casino magnates who make money off of poor people in a fucking rigged ass shit in Las Vegas, and you fund genocide with your profits, and you fucking traded a fan favorite franchise player that only comes once in a lifetime to the Lakers. How the fuck are y'all proud, Mavericks organization? How the fuck are y'all proud with your season this year? Seriously. Y'all are a disappointment. You're a huge disappointment. And how I just don't get it, man. Y'all are idiots, honestly. I have so little respect for the Mavericks organization. I feel for their fans. I really, really do. I feel for Mark Cuban. Seriously, everything went south once Mark Cuban lost control of that team. And I'll bet you so many Mavericks fans wish Mark Cuban had never sold the team. I'll bet you so many of them, because they know if Mark Cuban was still the owner of the team, none of this bullshit would have happened. None of this bullshit would have happened. You know Mark Cuban would have never, ever traded Luka Doncic. You know that Mark Cuban would have fixed things with Luka and talked to him and took care of things and maybe got him a little bit more in the way that they want him to be, a little bit more aggressive. I mean, look, Luka made it the finals last year. I mean, what was the problem and issue here? All that bullshit you made up, Nico Harrison, about him. So, oh, he's overweight. He's not trying. All this kind of shit. That's just to make yourself feel better. That's just spin. That's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. And of course, Luka's saying, yeah, the stuff he said about me was hurtful, man. That was hurtful. Yeah, it was unnecessary, hurtful, and disrespectful, honestly. Seriously. It's not that Luka's any more lazy than other players in this league, honestly. He really isn't. And in some ways, his talent and the way he plays overrides some of the laziness that he has in some ways. So it's like, whatever. Make the excuses you want, Mavericks ownership and management, for the fucking horrible, disgusting, stupid-ass move you made this year. Yeah, go ahead and make all the excuses you want. Say he's fat. Say he's lazy. Say you don't think you can win with him. Yeah. So crazy, man. All right. Yeah, that's my little reaction to the Grizzlies putting them out. I'm actually really happy about that. I thought that maybe the NBA would script write the Grizzlies to lose because they want the Mavericks to throw them a bone against some playoffs. But no, I guess in some ways, maybe having two kind of black eye teams against each other, because they are both black eyes right now, between the firing of Taylor Jenkins and John Morant's bullshit. And then, the Luka Doncic bullshit and like all the problems with the Mavericks and Nico Harrison. Both these teams are a black eye to the NBA right now in a certain way. And well, I guess the black eye of John Morant and his gun celebrations isn't as bad as the absolutely toxic relationship between the fan base and the Mavericks right now. Absolutely. So, yeah, there you go. You don't want to put the Mavericks on national television on the playoffs and hear all the fire and Nico and booing and shit like that. That doesn't look good to the global audience of the playoffs. Don't look good to that. Yeah. Here's G. G's here. Good to see G, the original Raptor Freak Trivia champion. We love G. G's name's on this trophy in the corner here for winning the championship. And some people were saying he would be out of the NBA in a few years. Way to go, Davion. Keep pushing. Yeah, I mean, look, I can see why people would think that, though, G. Let's be fair, because in some ways his offensive skills are not totally developed and steady and reliable. And the way the league is so offensively weighted with the three-point shot and everything, I mean, I can see where an expert would see Davion Mitchell's player build and say, man, maybe this guy won't be in the league that long. Because in some ways, the league isn't for role players anymore. And in some ways, Davion Mitchell is definitely a defensive role player in his state right now. Now, he has the ability to develop into being more of a two-way player with more offensive consistency. But it's not very likely in some ways that he's going to get to a level where he's absolutely crazy in offense like he is on defense. Those levels will never even out. That defensive side is just so OP. So, I mean, I get it. In some ways, it's like, is there a league for just guys who just rebound? Is there a league for guys who just block shots? Is there a league for guys who just are backup point guards that are pesky on defense? Well, there is. There's still a need. And in some ways, those kind of role players and those kind of guys that do stuff like that, they're actually very essential and necessary for a championship team. And that's what I would say to that, is that those kind of players that can be game changers because they're specifically super strong in one area, like Davion Mitchell is in backcourt defense, it's very useful for the Miami Heat, especially with a coach like Spoelstra guiding him. That's right. James is saying, shout out to Davion F the haters. There you go. All right, we're going to give James a dunk for saying F the haters this morning. James, thank you for being here, and thank you for playing in our WNBA Fantasy League. I hope you have re-upped your team, my guy, and you're ready to compete in this one, man. That's your second dunk of the year, James. You're at 6 points on the dunk charts. That's right. James is saying if he keeps improving his outside shooting and with his elite defense, he can definitely be a solid starter that doesn't command a lot of money. Well, the situation in Miami is interesting because, like, look, who did they start last night at point guard? They started it was Heroes playing shooting guard, right? So they started, I think it was Highsmith or somebody like that they started. They started Alec Burks at the other guard last night. Now Alec Burks played 11 minutes and he wasn't out there for long. He was 1 for 5 from 3, and that's basically what you want from him is making threes. But Davion came in and played 40 minutes in that overtime game last night, so he took the bulk of the time. Andrew Wiggins, 43 minutes. Bam Adebayo, 44 minutes. Tyler Hero, 44 minutes. 40 minutes for Haywood Highsmith, and then 40 minutes for Davion Mitchell. So he ended up being one of the main 5 players for the Heat last night. And basically, like, maybe Spoelstra decided, like, in the game, is like, we have the best look out there with Davion in the backcourt with Tyler Hero. So, I don't know. This is the kind of way that guys get starting spots, is that they have a good playoff run all of a sudden because they're starting or doing more like that. It could very well be Davion Mitchell is the starting point guard for the Miami Heat next year. It would make sense. In some ways, his offensive consistency isn't as necessary in a backcourt with Tyler Hero. Because Tyler Hero can light it up and score enough for both of them to carry. If he's going to get 30 to 40 some nights, Davion Mitchell only scores 8 points. It's not going to be a big deal. So I could see this happening, that Mitchell somehow, some way finagles his way to being the starting point guard for the Miami Heat next year. Partly because of his extremely good performance in this play-in and hopefully in the first round against the Cavs. I mean, listen, if Davion Mitchell goes out there and shuts down Donovan Mitchell and does some exemplary stuff, he'll have a lot of ammunition for this for next year. That's what I'm saying, man. So I could see this, James. I could see him being a starter for the Heat next year, as of next year. Yeah. James is saying, I think he's a free agent this summer. I would offer him $30 million for 3 years if I was Miami. Yeah, that sounds fair. That sounds fair. Who knows? I mean, I think it's very likely he's going to stay in Miami, even though he's a free agent this summer. Some Raptors fans may be like, well, let's get him back. Let's get him back to Toronto. And I wouldn't be upset about that. If Bobby and Masai decided that Davion Mitchell boomeranging back to Toronto this offseason was a move they wanted to make, I would support it. But that's up to them. I'm not going to say we have to do it like some fan channels do. I'm not demanding anything of our front office. I'm just like, I listen to an idea. I say, well, I would support that. And I would support bringing Davion back to Toronto if the money's right. And I trust Bobby and Masai to do it right. And they wanted it. If they don't, they don't. And I don't want it then. So it's really kind of that way with me. I trust our front office. But I think it's very, very likely that Davion Mitchell will re-sign with the Miami Heat for the year next year. Because it's like, it fits like a glove. That's right. This ain't no glove in the OJ trial. This glove fits. This glove fits real good. That's right. Monique's here. Superfan Mo, the greatest. Always good to see Mo in the chat. How are you doing this morning, Superfan Mo? Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Good morning to you, Monique. Always love you. Always love to see you in the chat. Like I always say, Lex, when you think there's no news to talk about, there's news. Way to go, Davion. Yeah, and it's crazy, Mo. Like I said, I was trying to figure out who I would do the Share the Love Club yesterday. And I was at first like, well, it's Oshai's birthday and Kelly's birthday this weekend. And I'm like, oh, it's Oshai's birthday. I should do Oshai. But then I realized last summer I did Oshai already. And I did Kelly already. So they already got Share the Love Club. So I was like, who would I do then? Like, who from this past year? And I was like, okay, well, Davion had a really good game for Miami in the first play-in game. Maybe we should celebrate him. And so I put it down as Davion in the afternoon, not knowing that later on that night he would take over the overtime and beat the Hawks like he did. That just was great coincidence that, like, oh, well, Davion's a hero in overtime for the Heat. This is perfect timing to do the Davion Mitchell Share the Love Club. Perfect time. In some ways, I've been known to try and tie it into something that currently is happening with the Share the Love Club. But I will tell you this, Mo, next up on the queue for a Share the Love Club, and I might have done him today. If not, I'm doing Davion Mitchell today, is going to be Coach Andrew Jones. Yeah, he's going to be getting a Share the Love Club in the next couple weeks. Maybe next week we'll do Coach Jones because, man, I want to share the love for Coach Jones and the job he did on the 905 this season. He did a very, very good job. So we're going to share the love for Andrew Jones very soon, y'all. Very, very, very soon. Yeah. James is saying, can we scout Tomasay Ivicic? Okay, I have looked at Ivicic, but I will look at him again. And this is the time. We're in the offseason, James. So this is perfectly fine. I am kind of wanting to figure out how I'm going to, fill out the time with, off season sometimes. So doing a scout of the day is perfectly great. So let's do this right now. James has requested that I look at Illinois Fighting Illini. I don't know how to fucking say that. Illinois player, center Tomislav Ivicic. He's 7'1", 230 pounds. Played for Illinois. He's from Croatia. Yeah, he's Bosnian Herzegovina. Yeah, very, very cool. He's a 4-star recruit. So yeah, let's see. It looks like he doesn't really have any stats. His twin brother is Zivamir. So there's the Ivicic brothers, and I think they're both in the draft this year. So we're going to look at Tomislav real quick by request by James. Let's see, Tomislav. Let's see, where's that? On the YouTube, y'all. And the great thing is when we get things going with the Discord more, I am going to be doing these. You'll be able to see the screen with me. Instead of me just watching the screen, y'all can't see what I'm looking at. We'll be able to watch it together at some point. I'm going to rig this up this summer with the help of Nins, and we're going to figure out how to make it so that we can play the highlight while I'm watching it on the screen and share the screen so you guys can see it too live on the show. We're going to figure that out. I'm going to figure all this kind of stuff out. All right, which one do I want? I don't want any single game. I want a whole season of highlights if we can. Yeah, it looks like they're just like highlights of certain games on here. There's no season highlights. Come on, where's the season highlights? Maybe I will go ahead and watch. You know what? We've got a clip of them against each other, the Ivicic brothers. So let's go ahead and it may be hard for me to figure out. Okay, one's in orange, one's in white. Okay, I see. The one we're scouting is in orange. Let's see. We're going to watch the Ivicic brothers real quick on here. All right. So that's a very beautiful block. The man's got very long arms. That's a very nice wingspan. Let's see. He's got really long legs too. Look at that 3. That's an interesting 3. His push, he doesn't use his legs enough, but he just barely made the hoop. But, if he can make shots like that consistently with the 3, yeah, I don't like his 3-point shot. It's weird, man. He's not using his legs. He has a really like a flick kind of three-point shot. It's like a Bill Laimbeer kind of thing, but I don't know if I like it. Oh, that other brother just dunked on him. I got an alley-oop over him. I think I like the Illinois brother more than the Arkansas brother because some reason he looks bigger. And they're twins, right? They're the same age, or is he a little bit older? Because I think the one we're scouting is a little bit older than the other one. It looks like he seems bigger. Interesting. Yeah, he's not afraid to shoot threes. That's for sure. The guy gets the ball and he's got some time. He's going to go ahead and shoot it. He's shooting all threes, actually. So this guy really has a proclivity to shoot a lot of threes. And it looks like he shoots all around the horn with a pretty good percentage. Look, he faked like he was going to pass, and then he shot it. Yeah, this dude is just bombing threes in this game. Like he's got like 5 or 6 threes in this game against his brother. Very, very interesting. Okay, there's a miss, and the other brother gets the rebound. I'm going to say this. He has more highlights in this reel if they're highlights of both of them. Okay, there's the other brother shooting a 3 now, the one for Arkansas. His 3-point shot is a little bit more vertical, but I don't like it still. Ooh, that's very aggressive. Coming down the lane and dunking it. Razorback Ivicic. Yeah, very, very interesting. All right, where's this one? Okay, he caught that one. The defender came out at him, and he made the 3 too. So both these guys shoot threes pretty good. Like I said, the other brother, not Tomislav, he looks undersized. Like he looks like he needs weight room way, way more than Tomislav. So, man, look at that. The partial block by Illinois' Tomislav right there. Partial block, and then he gets the ball and keeps it in back. Fantastic defense. Yeah, I like this guy. I like this guy more than the other brother because they're both in this highlight. I just think that he's got a really good size to him already. Like he would be very helpful. The clip's over. Yeah, he'd be very, very helpful The fact that he hits threes very well and he has really good shot blocking. Yeah, green light from me. Tomislav Ivicic, great pick. You're thinking around 39, where we pick with the Portland Trailblazers pick that we got acquired. That, hey, I'm okay with it, James. I like this guy. I like him more than the other Ivicic brother, just so you know. So we're going to say that. I'll agree with that, man. So Tomislav Ivicic, Illinois. Yeah, yeah. Thumbs up from Lex. Go on ahead and let's do it, man. Let's do it. Vinabella's here. Welcome, Vinabella. We do a live stream on Raptors topics every single day. I don't take the off season off. I do it every single morning, 9:30 a.m. If you're a huge Raptors fan and you're about to go in the off season now because we're done, well, don't be starved for Raptors content. The Raptor Freak is here. And I appreciate your subscription. Vinabella is saying, I'm sure that Davion's Raptors ex-teammates are cheering for his success. Yeah, especially Jacoby, I'm sure. And yeah, I mean, I think that in some ways, Davion had an interesting tenure with the Raptors. One thing that the feedback about Davion with the other players was he talks a lot. That's the thing. Like when they'd be traveling around on planes and buses and stuff, Davion just talks and talks. And I can remember Garrett Temple being on the Raptors show, making light of this season, saying that, like, yeah, and Davion will always be talking. In some ways, it's like, those kind of people that are just chatty. Well, that's Davion Mitchell. And in some ways, I don't get mad at those kind of people. In some ways, I'm kind of like that person myself. So I can't get mad at people that are like me, chatty people. So Davion, hey, he's cool, man. And I you know what? The thing about Davion, once again, is he had a defensive essence to him that needed to rub off on this young Raptors crew at the beginning of the journey for these rookies we had in this class, and Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett. These guys saw what Davion was doing, and they're like, yeah, we can go to other levels ourselves. So I appreciate Mitchell for elevating the defensive stuff for our team, especially people like Jamal Shed and Jacoby Walter, who definitely probably took some different things like how to take a charge, how to steal the ball from an opponent without fouling them. This is all very valuable work to know as guards in the NBA. And Davion Mitchell's a master at those two things I just named. Basically stealing the ball, also drawing charges. Like we saw Davion do this a lot at the beginning of the year. And then when he was gone, we started seeing Jamal Shed doing some of that stuff, like taking charges, or, even the dogged, like making the team get 8-second violations at the half court. That's something that Davion, Jamal Shed really did good at it in the second half, but Davion did it a little bit too because he's really, really annoying. Vinabella, always good to see you. I hope I'll see your name more and more in the chat in the days and weeks and months to come. Trevor's saying Davion Mitchell's defense rubbed off on the whole team of the Raptors. Yeah, I agree with this, Trevor. I really do. He was a bit of an influence. And like I said, if he can give proprietary kind of defensive guard knowledge to people like Jamal Shed, Jacoby Walter about how to guard even better, and even IQ probably learned some stuff from Mitchell too, guys. He probably did. G saying when you scrimmage against players like Mitchell, your offense and defense will get better. So happy for him. Yeah. Regardless if he's not playing a lot of minutes and he's still just a guy on your bench as a role player, backup point guard. In practice, iron sharpens iron, right? That's what they were saying at the beginning of the year. And IQ was all about talking about how having Davion guarding him in practice every day was making him a better offensive player. And that makes total sense to me. Like that dude is going to play all out on you in practice, and you've got to go above and beyond to try and beat his defense. And that's awesome. Firebolt's here. Good to see the Maritimes checking in with us. Of course, Carla is over on the East Coast of Canada, holding it down for us. How are you doing this morning, Firebolt? I love Davion. He's a very impactful player. Yeah, we're sharing the love today. And Firebolt has love for you, Davion, down on the Atlantic coast in Florida. Now in Miami, well, the Atlantic coast of Canada is saying love, sending love to you down there, Davion. Keep going, man. Beat the Cavs in the first round. I love first round upsets. And if the Miami Heat could do it again, like they did to the Milwaukee Bucks a couple years ago, it'd be really funny and weird to see after the Cavs were so freaking good this year that they go out in the first round to Eric Spoelstra and his amazing playoff geniusness. You know what I'm saying? Genius. That's right. James is saying big ego, no good. Stay humble always. Yes. And the people that have the biggest egos have the biggest blind spots, and they're the ones who will fall. And that is what's going to happen in this world. I'm telling you, this totalitarian shit that they're trying to pull down there, there's a lot of blind spots to things, and they are going to fall because of it, because their ego gets in the way of seeing reality clearly. And well, reality is going to come and check them at some point, just like a hockey player would put somebody to the glass. That's right. Elbows up, baby. Let's go. That's right, James. MJ's here. Good to see Fiercely Soft Sarah. That's right. One of our top-notch members of our channel. I thank you, Fiercely, for supporting this channel by being a channel member and having a monthly subscription. I really do appreciate you for that. Good morning, fam, and happy Saturday. Davion is a great asset for any team. It's just too bad Sacramento didn't realize it. Him being with the Raptors helped big time on defense. Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. And she's saying also, I'm rooting for Davion wherever he goes. Defense wins championships. Yeah, he's that kind of guy. Like I said, he's the kind of player that would have been on the bench for like the Detroit Pistons champions of like Ben Wallace, Richard Hamilton, and Chauncey Billups. He was that kind of build of player. With that team, he would have fit in on that. I'm just saying, guys like Davion Mitchell are those kind of pieces like Bruce Brown was for the Denver Nuggets. He's that kind of role player that can put any team that's close to a championship over the top because his specific role is so useful in a very particular way. So, yeah, I'm rooting for Davion wherever he goes to. And, it's not really that Sacramento didn't realize it. It's just that they did not. This is the problem with the Kings is, and it probably still is a problem, and I think they just fired their GM, right? The problem with the Kings is that they don't have their roster making sense. In some ways, there's duplicity between players that are kind of in the same position and like too much talent aggregated in one position and not enough talent at other positions. You got to build your team like a puzzle where the puzzle pieces fit. And having so many players in the way of Davion Mitchell for development in Sacramento was not good GMing. In some ways, you got to make it work. Don't just get the best talented players, because if you get the most talented players, some of them will all play at the same position, and then you're just going to have headaches. You're just going to have headaches. So I blame more that the GM did not put the puzzle pieces together in Sacramento right. And that's part of the reason why Davion never worked in the Kings, is because the GM just didn't know how to build a team correctly. And in some ways, it's shown in putting Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan together again, even though that was proven not to work in Chicago. So it's like, you're idiots. And Sacramento as a front office, I have no faith in. And maybe that's why DeMar DeRozan's taken some time to think about his future as a King. That's right. That's why right there. Nameless is here. Good to see Nameless, my paisano, my good friend Nameless. I believe Luka forced his way to LA. They were probably hamstrung. I don't think that's right. I do not think that's right, because the emotions and the way he felt about Dallas, and he's still upset about it. He still cries about it, man. The emotions are still, there's no way he asked for this. There's no way he asked for this. I'm not going to believe this. James saying Lakers probably going to finish to the finals. Lakers are probably going to the finals. And Nameless saying, James, are you okay mentally? No, I think he might be right. The only reason why James is saying this, Nameless, is because the NBA will script write the Lakers to the finals. It's good high business. Luka and LeBron back in the finals together against whatever team is coming from the East. If they have their way, it's going to be the Celtics, and then it'll be Lakers versus Celtics, fucking bullshit all over again. I mean, that's the script that they want to write, obviously, guys. And James is only saying that because that's why he thinks that. It's not because he wants it. It's because he sees that the NBA may script write this shit. So he's okay mentally. He understands what he's seeing, and he's seeing it clearly. I hope he's not right. I hope he's not right, though. I hope he's not right. Yeah, you good? You good? We're good, man. Nameless is good. He's working. You're good. It's just that James is seeing through, and he wants to know if the script's already written. That's what I'm saying there. Yeah, G saying Nico hasn't even spoken to Luka. Shaking my head. What a dweeb. Yeah, thankless, idiot, jerk. In some ways, I don't know if he's a coward. That's what that sounds like to me. He can't face a man that he traded like that. He can't face him. G saying that Zach Edey played very well, especially for a rookie. Let me go look at that. I'll go look at the box score on that one real quick. Because I didn't watch these games, guys. I really just kind of like hear what y'all are saying and stuff like that. I know, don't take me as not being as knowledgeable. It's just that, I just don't have the time to watch everything. Yeah, all right. So let's see. What did Zach do off the bench here? Did he start? He did start. He got 7 for 9 shooting. Really good, man. 15 points, 11 rebounds, so a double-double with an assist. He had 6 offensive rebounds. He was 1 for 3 at the free throw line. He did have 2 blocks, a plus 13. Yeah, nice double-double, solid stuff. They started him with Jaren Jackson at the beginning, as Stargate noted in the chat last night. John Morant, not bad. He didn't shoot very well, but he came close to a triple-double. And Desmond Bane, 22 points. That's good stuff. See, part of it here is that the Grizzlies are a deeper team with more talent, deeper into their team. And, Davis can get 40 points, and Klay Thompson scraped together just 18. He didn't really shoot that well. It's absolutely essential for Klay Thompson to shoot well from three for the Mavericks to be successful in the postseason. Well, he didn't. And, Davis did his part, 40 points and 9 rebounds. But they just don't have enough firepower or players to match all the different weapons of the Grizzlies, and that's what showed. And this is part of why I thought the Grizzlies would win this game or should win this game, because they are the better team. They have more good players than the other team. And in some ways, well, they're going to get to play Oklahoma City in the first round. This is crazy, man, because that's a crazy matchup. In some ways, Grizzlies, Thunder, wow. In some ways, they're very similar teams to me. Now, the Thunder are definitely better than the Grizzlies, but there are a lot of similarities between the two teams. And this will be a hell of a series. I mean, I would hate to see the Grizzlies upset the Thunder in the first round, but they could do it, honestly. It really kind of comes down to John Morant and them getting their shit together under their new coach. But I don't want that to happen. I'm rooting for Lou Dort and those guys. And hopefully the Thunder will just withstand this. But that is a very interesting matchup. That's not a normal 8th seed. That's not a nice 8th seed. That is not a normal 8th seed. I'm going to say that right now. The Memphis Grizzlies are not a normal 8th seed, just as much as the Miami Heat aren't really either. But they're more weakened and they're not as dangerous. But the Grizzlies are very dangerous to Oklahoma City in the first round. I'm just going to say that. They have a lot of depth and talent on their team. That's right. Trevor's saying they are saying the Raptors have a secret weapon that no one is talking about, and it's Ochai Agbaji. Yeah, I mean, he's lost in the whole shuffle of things. Of course, they're going to talk barbecue. They're going to talk Jay Rooks. They'll talk Grady. They'll talk Shamshay. But nobody's ever, like, in lost in the shovel, sometimes Ochai Agbaji and the leaps and bounds he made this season on both ends of the court, honestly. He became better on both ends of the court this year. RJ got better at the defensive end. Some people got better at the offensive end. But Ochai got better at both ends. He figured out a more comfortable offensive profile of being a lane runner and a transition offensive scorer, along with a corner three specialist. And, the other stuff that he was doing last year that was so awkward and didn't look right on offense, it got thrown out the window, and he's not even trying to do those kind of things anymore. And he looks so much smoother and more comfortable because of it. And then, obviously, the man got more assignments this year on top of the great defensive work that he's done already in years past, taking really tough assignments. And some of the stats showing the defensive field goal percentage of his opponents when he's guarding them shows just how much of a lockdown he is. In some ways, he's our OG right now. In some ways, Scotty and Ochai are OGs in some ways. Both of them are kind of trying to do OG stuff. And, that it's fantastic that Agbaji developed on both ends. And happy birthday, early birthday to Ochai Agbaji. We're going to say happy birthday to him in the next couple days when his birthday's coming up. That's right. Let's see. G's saying defensive players always take time developing offense, just like offensive players take time to develop defense. Very few players come into the league as a two-way. Yeah. In some ways, it's adjusting to the size, speed, and strength of the league that you don't know. Like, you could be a very good two-way player in the college, but it doesn't totally translate right away. Some of it has to do with your body. You may have to build it up so that you can be a stronger defender. And some of it may have to do with, your offense is not totally unlocked in the NBA when you first show up, because you have to learn the learning curve of the NBA and how it is. So, this is true. Unless you're a really, really top level player. I mean, I guess, could you say Victor Wembanyama came into this league as a two-way player? I mean, his offense was kind of but his defense was definitely there already. That's right. It's just like how it is, man. Mo's saying after the Raptors season ended, I got sick in the next day, but I'm here. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better. And I don't like hearing that. I noticed that you hadn't been around as much recently, and I hope that you're feeling way, way better, Mo. And we got to figure out your birthday. Seriously, I want to do something near your house. I feel like, I know your mom and you traveling to places can be arduous, especially if you get a haul. Like if you have like gifts. I remember Jackie telling me last year that hauling that huge trophy that David gave you back to your house was an ordeal. I don't want that to happen to y'all this time. So I want to make it real easy for y'all. And y'all know your neighborhood best. If there's a venue there nearby you, we're going to talk about this off the chat, and we'll get it nailed down with a date and a place and a time so I can start promoting it on this channel. And we'll get a good little Raptor Freak get together for Monique's birthday in June, guys. So in this area where we'll probably be meeting is going to be somewhere near Steele's, up near Jane, somewhere around there. Like that's where Monique lives out there. So who knows? A good restaurant that is a good place to host that's near your house, Mo. That's where we should have it this year for June this year. And like I said, mix it up with your friends and family too. If you want to have everybody there, I don't mind. This doesn't have to be exclusively a Raptor Freak party. It could be just like a general birthday party, and we come and we're as part of the guests too. So, however you want to do it, it's just I want to work with you and Jackie in a way that's easiest for you guys this year. Because I know the hall all the way down to NBA Restaurant or Real Sports or Real Jerk or different places around town is not easy for y'all. And we want to make it easy for y'all this year. That's what I'm saying. Roger's saying, good morning, good day, Raptor Freaks. Davion is awesome. I expect to see his full impact on the Raptors in the years to come. Well, against us, I wish that he was still on our team. But yeah, we're going to see his full impact on us, probably trying to stop it quickly next year, because I don't know if he'll be on our team next year. Roger, always good to see you in the chat. And thank you for supporting the channel, my guy. Thank you for being a member of the channel. I really do appreciate you members that are in green. Trevor's saying, I remember IQ saying Davion and Shed, they tried to two-dog him in practice. Yeah. I mean, there you go. Throw him to the fire. Emmanuel, you have to go against Jamal and Davion at the same time. That sounds like a nightmare. Seriously, that sounds like a nightmare. As a guard playing against that backcourt, Davion Mitchell and Jamal Shed on the court at the same time, dogging you on point of attack. Oh, no fun. No fun. That's nightmare stuff right there. Yeah. Smith saying good for Miami, Davion Mitchell. I think that they're going to get smacked by the Cavs. Remember, Cleveland is big everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Other than that, Donovan Mitchell, their backcourt's small to me. They're big up front. That's for damn sure. They're big up front. That's for damn sure. But their backcourt is not that big in some ways. I would say that, Reggie, is in some ways, that there Davion Mitchell on Donovan Mitchell is a great matchup. In fact, that's kind of the two opposites. Like Donovan's such an amazing offensive player, and Davion's such an amazing defensive player. And of course, they have the same initial and last name. People get them mixed up all the time. Jack Armstrong's on our broadcast calling Davion Mitchell Donovan Mitchell by accident in the beginning of the year. Y'all caught that too. Like Jack Armstrong messes up and calls him Donovan all of a sudden. Yeah, I mean, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. And I think Davion gets up extra special for Donovan, partly because of the namesake stuff. You would think that, right? You guys see that, yeah. But it'd be interesting. I think you're right, though, Reggie. I think that Cleveland will handle them pretty good and easily. It could be a 4-game sweep, honestly. Now, the expertise of Spoelstra may get them a win, at least one, and it may be a 5-game series. But I don't see it going much further than that. If the Cavaliers are right, they should be kicking their butt easy. Yeah, Fiercey saying, after a magnificent game, Klay Thompson back to his old self, giving Mavs fans the full Klay experience. What did he do? I don't even know. What did he do? Klay Thompson? Okay, well, whatever. You guys are proud of your year. Okay, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be at all. Monique's brought up that Quincy Guerrier of the Raptors 905 has signed with the Montreal Alliance and the CBL again for this year. That makes sense. I mean, Montreal guy plays for Montreal CBL team. That's part of the reason why Chris Boucher loves Quincy. Their hometown friends. And, well, Chris is also involved in the Montreal Alliance. So having Quincy Guerrier playing for the Montreal Alliance just makes sense. And this is not his first year playing for them. He played for them last year also. So coming back to play for his team that he played for last year. So Quincy is back in the CBL this summer, and that makes sense. Is why go anywhere? You got the Canadian Elite Basketball League that's in your hometown city. You can play for your own hometown like that. That's a beautiful thing. That's like the dream of RJ Barrett and AJ Lawson right now. That Quincy can play professional ball in Montreal in front of his family. And that's amazing. Yeah. Smooth saying Memphis, OKC. Thunder wins that. SGA shows why he's the MVP. Yeah, that is going to be, oh, yeah. I'm telling you, man, that'll be an interesting matchup. John Morant could have something to say about this. But I think that them firing their coach so late in the season is going to really hurt them. And there is still a lot of like weirdness around the Grizzlies right now. They're probably not totally right. And the Thunder should capitalize and kick their ass, is what I'm saying. Monique saying returning home, returning home. So, yeah. Yeah, it's nice to see people like Quincy go and get to play for their hometown for sure. James is saying, Lex, who you got for the finals this year? Well, I'm really hoping it'll be the Thunder and the Pacers. That is my ideal finals. I would love to see Indiana in the finals against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That is my most ideal finals. I do not want to see the Cavs or the Celtics in the finals. I do not. I want to see, I'd be happier with the Knicks even though the Knicks fans would be really annoying. I'd be more happy with Milwaukee being in the finals again. You know, there's a bunch of other Eastern teams that I'd much rather see in the finals, like the Magic. I'd rather see the Magic in the finals than either the Cavs or the Celtics. If the Cavs over the Celtics, though, if I have to choose between Cleveland or Boston, and they're both in the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm rooting for the Cavs. I at all costs, no Boston repeat for sure. But yeah, Thunder for sure in the West. And then, ideally, I'd like Pascal to be in the finals, but I don't know if that's what's going to happen. We'll have to see. Trevor's saying the team that has all the two-way players will be very hard to beat. Team beat. The team that has all two-way players will be very hard to beat. What do you mean, man? Most of these teams are not using their two-way players in the playoffs. When you make your playoff roster, you have to cut it down to like 13 or something. And most rosters are now 17 players. So you're cutting like 4 regular season players that would be playing for you with your depth out of the picture. So a lot of two ways are not involved in the playoffs, Trevor. I'm not totally sure what your comment means here. Most saying this. Best defensive field goal percentage among rookies for 2024-25 NBA regular season, Jamison Battle. I saw this stat that you posted yesterday, Mo, and I was shocked by it. They did say on the download that Battle had real good gains on defense over the season. And Darko himself name dropped Jamison as saying he was proud of the work that he had done on the defensive end. Jamison came in as a three-point specialist as an undrafted rookie for us this year. And we were delighted with his three-point shooting. But the one thing that Jamison did this season is he dedicated himself to training and learning how to rebound and play defense better. And he bulked up and he got better. And when I saw that defensive field goal percentage for all rookies, that Jamison was one of the better defenders, that really was like eye-opening to me. Because most of us wouldn't think that when you think about Battle. He's a three-point shooter, but he actually played very excellent defense in the second half of the season. He really was on top of people. And that stat that Mo posted, it shows it right there. Seymour's here. The sheriff is back, y'all. Our sheriff is back. I miss you, man. I've been wondering how you've been doing. I know that things are crazy right now, and I'm always thinking about you and hoping that you're doing all right, Seymour, man. He's saying, Davion. Happy for him. Hated seeing you go, broski. There you go. Seymour, on your return, I'm going to give you a dunk, my guy. I love you, man, and thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for being an admin for me and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I've been wondering how you've been doing, my guy. I've been worried about you. And I'm just happy to see the sheriff is back in town. We need that sheriff back in town. 30 dunks for you, man. That's your 10th one of the year, man. Trevor's saying OKC is more deeper than Grizzlies, more talented than Grizzlies. Thunder have better shooting. Yes, 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 and yes. And that's why they should win. I mean, the other thing about the Thunder is they accomplished a record this season that they had like the 7th best record in the history of the NBA right now. Like, seriously, they're up in that stratosphere near like that Bulls team, that Warriors team with like winning percentage. And they have like one of the top 10 best winning percentages in the history of the NBA and the whole almost 80 years of the NBA. Seriously, that's the accomplishment. They did something this year against the Eastern Conference that no other team has ever done in intra-conference play. They only lost one game against the opposing conference in the Eastern Conference. They lost one game to Eastern teams this year. The Oklahoma City Thunder. They are badasses. All right, let's go do the Instagram stories. Since Trevor brought it up, I was right, y'all. I was right, and I called it yesterday, and, well, we got the confirmation today. That's right. There's the city skyline in Bangkok that Lloyd has put up there, and there's a nice pool where he's at enjoying a vacation with the entourage, because there's Jonathan Mobo on the streets of Bangkok in Thailand. And well, there's our guy Scott. He is checking in. And I told y'all, Scotty Barnes is in Thailand. I see Lloyd and Jonathan Mobo there. I know the entourage is there, and Scotty is there with him. And the confirmation is there. He's taking a picture of a bunch of motorcycles in a row in Thailand on his Instagram. He's taking pictures of a beautiful shrine with nice, beautiful colors and lanterns hanging in it. And yeah, Scotty is a world traveler. I think that, listening to Scotty on his Twitch after his rookie year, he liked to go to new places. Like when he planned that trip to Montreal that summer, he had such a blast in Montreal. Of course, we've seen Scotty go to China in the offseason and spend a lot of time in China. Of course, he's gone to different islands with the entourage, like Jamaica and different places. Well, they decided to go to Thailand this time. And well, that's fun. I'll bet you guys like Jay Simpson are there too. Maybe even Patrick. Who knows? His guy, his agent too, his handler, all those guys are over there. The entourage with Scotty is over in Thailand. That's just official, y'all. It's official. Let's see. Savannah Hamilton's putting on blast the Cinderella Stories podcast with Ashley Docking. And yeah, they're saying don't meet your heroes. Don't meet your heroes. Okay, Savannah Hamilton and Ashley Docking with your crazy podcast, Cinderella Stories. There you go. AFC Toronto announced a sold-out crowd of 14,500 fans for their inaugural Northern Super League home opener at BMO Field. So that's the official count for the first women's soccer game that went down this past week for AFC Toronto. Almost 15,000 fans came out to support them in their first game. Women's sports is arriving, y'all. What's up? Broke Baby Stunna. Eugene Omaroi is out there cruising around too. Davido Nutton Day. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, let me see if I can tell from the signs if he's in Toronto or not. I don't know. I can't tell. He might be in Toronto. It's hard to tell where Eugene is right now as we speak. Advanced voting started yesterday, and Toronto Temple are letting everybody know the federal election is open to vote. You guys can go vote at your advanced polling places today from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I went yesterday, guys, and I was so happy when I was driving to the polling place in Sutton that I saw so many red signs out in the country, guys. I'm telling you right now, things are changing, partly because of the debate. The debates this week were very good, and Carney did very well. And well, when I've been driving around out here where I live, it's very conservative. I live in a rural area of Ontario. And for the most part, in the last 2 weeks, I've seen a lot of blue signs in front of people's yards. But when I drove to vote yesterday, early voting, I saw more red signs than blue signs on my way to the polling place. And when I got inside, I saw a whole ton of people already voting on the first day. Good Friday was a good day to vote. And this Easter weekend is a fantastic time to vote. If you really, really want to celebrate Easter and celebrate life and rebirth and spring, well, let's celebrate with an election and voting and go and do it and get it out of the way. Don't even wait for election day. You guys can vote as of yesterday, today, tomorrow, or Monday from 9 to 9 p.m. You guys can vote and get it over and done with this long weekend. We have so much time this weekend. There's no excuse, Canada. Cross this country, find out where your advanced polling sites are, and just go down there and do it. Avoid the lines on voting day and just get it done this weekend. This is a very important election for Canada. We need to stay Canada and sovereign and free. Our anthem, it says the true north, strong and free. Well, you want to stay true north, strong and free and stand on guard up for thee? Well, you need to go vote, Canada, seriously. And I will hate you if you vote for Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives, because they are going to take away CBC. They're going to take away our health care, and they fucking hate us. They hate us. They're just hateful little troll shitheads, and they are not good for people. You can hear people that have actual plans for our economy and our government and what we want to do as a country, and standing off with Trump and his bullshit. So there's no good choice other than Carney. I'm telling you right now, I would have voted for Singh. I'm going to say this right now. I would have voted for Singh if it made sense, but it doesn't right now because he will not win. And it is important that we beat Poilievre. So I voted for Carney, and that's in the middle. And I would tell my conservative friends, don't vote for MAGA Poilievre, vote for the middle person, and that's Carney. This is a compromise for me because I'm orange. I would vote NDP. I did last federal election. I did not vote for Justin Trudeau. I did not vote for Justin Trudeau either time. I voted for Jagmeet both times. But this time I'm not voting for Singh because this election is too important and not compromised with all the conservatives across this country that love this country of Canada and want to keep it Canada. Is I'm voting for Mark Carney, who's not necessarily the person that I like the most. It's Jagmeet. But as a compromise, y'all don't vote for Poilievre. I won't vote for Jagmeet. Let's meet in the middle and vote for Carney. So that's what I'm saying right there. And then when we get proportional representative voting, which I want, which I hope Mark Carney will put into legislation for Canada, then we can start voting for the people we really want and get the proportional representation for the NDP and the Green Party. That's what I'd love. So I love that Teresa Resch and the Toronto Temple are pushing advanced voting to the community on their social media right now. And like I said, I walk the walk. I went and got my vote done yesterday. I went and voted the first day I could go vote, and I got it done. And I implore every single one of y'all watching me to go do it yourself this weekend too, from 9 to 9 p.m. Every single day this weekend, your advanced polling station is open. Get your voter card and look at where it is and go do it. Just go do it. And tell 10, 20, 30 people that you know to go do it also. Because we need to have the best turnout ever here in Canada. Because we love Canada and we want to stay Canada and we don't want to be fucked with by that fuckface down south. So if you don't vote in this election, man, you're sidelining and you're not being patriotic to your country to stand tall and stay true, north, strong, and free. So I'm going to say that right now. So thank you, Teresa Resch, for putting this on blast and getting people out there to vote. Apathy is boring is exactly right, Teresa. Apathy is boring. There's Norman Powell getting ready for the playoffs with him and Kawhi. They're going to be going off. Let's go, playoff Powell. Let's see what you got this year. And playoff mode for Kawhi Leonard was talked about in the Open Gym episode this week about how he goes to another level. He really, really does. Emmanuel Quickly is celebrating elite pickup. Riley Welsh is the special assistant to the head coach at Miami University. So, yeah, he's got a friend that got a new job, and he wanted to put him on. He's like, put him on blast. Elite pickup is what he's saying there. There's Emmanuel out and about on the town. And, well, you're playing Playboy Cardi and Future, so you do know some new music. Come on now. What's going on here, Emmanuel? You're live. What are you saying here? Open Gym director has got the Open Gym episode on blast on YouTube. Man, such good work. You guys did so good. I love your show. We got Bruno Fernando hanging out with Vinny Jr., getting the jersey from Vinny Jr., the soccer player. Very happy to see that. Jamal Shed is celebrating another Miami acquisition for the University of Miami. It's LJ Rose, director of player personnel. I guess he's a personal connection with him. Yeah, Bog. Yeah, Bog. LJ Rose. Yeah, Bog. I don't know what that means. There he is also saying happy birthday to his friend, D1 Princely. Happy birthday, Shiner. Love you, brother. There you go. There you go. And let's see what else he's got. He's got also a youngster on blast here. Who is this kid? Who is this kid? Y'all stop what you're doing and help us wish Caden a happy 11th birthday. This kid is the light in every room. My boy, time flying, dog. So Caden, happy 11th birthday from Jamal Shed and the Raptor Freak family. How about that? And Teresa Resch did the Brandon Gomez show on the podcast. Let's see. And she's doing a lot of different shows all over the place. Teresa is putting that tempo on blast in other different places. And she's got the AFC totals for their attendance. And Leo Routens has got his words of wisdom for today on Instagram. There were many yesterdays. There may be many tomorrows, but there is only one today. Enjoy it. That's right. The 19th day of April in 2025. Good morning. Enjoy your coffee. Have a great weekend. There you go. Leo's life tips on blast on the end of the Instagram stories there. Yeah, the entourage is officially in Thailand. Scotty is checking in Thailand. That's right, baby. There you go. Thailand. Yeah, that's what kind of fun stuff they're doing in Thailand. Seymour saying Battle should mold his game after Tayshaun Prince of the Bad Boy Pistons. Yeah, Tayshaun wasn't necessarily a bad boy Piston. I mean, I guess they're Bad Boy Pistons 2000. It's kind of like the Blues Brothers with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. And then it was Blues Brothers 2000. And what it was John Goodman instead of John Belushi. You know, yeah, I mean, I can kind of get that. But the Bad Boys to me will always be as Isaiah and all them. But yeah, I mean, you know, in some ways it's like, you know, I battle. I mean, I don't know. Him as a Tayshaun Prince build, man, that's tough to see. because I don't know if Battle is as lithe and agile as Tayshaun Prince was. He was a very special player. Tayshaun Prince had a lot of the same qualities, physicality wise, as Pascal Siakam. Honestly, an amazing motor, tireless, very long arms, very long limbs, very good kind of like help defender, and just like a very active player. So I don't know. I don't see the same kind of build between Prince and Battle. Man, I would love to see Jamison Battle play defense on the level of Tayshaun Prince. I'd love to see it. I don't know. Big Raptor freak, Alberta. Let's go. Let's go. I hope your province gets their head out of their ass. I hope that they vote correctly in this election, but who knows what they'll do. In some ways, look, the whole country of Canada is very left leaning overall. And honestly, I have a lot of confidence in this election. In some ways, I'm hoping that we are not compromised with our system, that somebody tries to do some funny stuff. I hope that our system is staying democratically sound and that the people will get their democratically voted person. I do not believe that's what happened last fall in the United States. I think that Elon paid the mass media to cover up, and they actually strong armed this election in the United States. And that Kamala actually did have more votes, but they just fucking brazenly took it, just like Trump would grab them by the pussy. They grabbed the election by the pussy and just declared themselves the winners. I do not believe they actually won. I think that if you actually did go over everything that happened in November, that Kamala actually won, and they just stole this shit. Seriously, I have no faith in the American system at this point that it's not rigged, and that in some ways the all it takes is Elon cutting a big huge fat check to the mass media people and saying, yeah, just say we won and consolidate this. Yeah, that's what I think personally. I don't believe he actually won. He's so unpopular. How the fuck did he win an election last year when you have like millions of people in the streets against you? And even those people that voted for you that have regret, like you have no support hardly. The people that are supporting you are fucking Nazis and fascists, and they're white supremacists, and they're the worst people in the world that are MAGA people that are supporting him at this point. All right, let's keep going. Mo's saying, talk to the open gym crew yesterday. They applaud me for my thoughts on it. It's called family. All right, I don't understand that, Mo. Why don't you tell them that they did a good job? Why are you getting the applause? I'm like, seriously, why don't you say, you guys are so awesome? Thank you for the job you do. But they're turning around saying, I mean, we love you and you do great things, but you should be giving them their flowers. Why do they have to give you flowers? I'm like, I get it. I get it. You're amazing. You're a super fan. But I would really hope, you know what I wish you'd done is say, look, all of my friends, like the Raptor Freaks in this channel, we love you guys. And my friend just did an episode on you guys saying kudos to you guys and showing y'all flowers and stuff like that. Like, I want to give them flowers. We give you flowers all the time. And I'm glad they gave you flowers. But in some ways, I want to hear about what they had to say about, oh, thanks, Mo. You know, like, we work really hard on this show. Maybe like to ask them about how they make it or what goes into the editing and stuff like that. I want to know the inside stuff, Mo. I want to know the inside stuff. And I understand you're great. Obviously, you're great. Everybody's giving you applause. That's great. But if you're going to talk to the open gym people, give me more than this. Give me more than this. You're talking to open gym people. Give me the meat. Give me the details, Mo. And not just this. Come on now. Come on now. Please. You are an insider. Give me the inside stuff. Please, Ahmad Rashad. Come on now. Trevor's saying, I mean, the team that I have all their players who can play defense and offense will be a very hard team to beat. Our team. You're saying the Raptors, all our players can play defense and offense will be very hard team to beat. That's the design that Darko wants is two-way players at every position. And he successfully made Jakob more of a two-way player this year. Jakob's offense was more unlocked as a hub, and even his scoring on his own, the push shots and the driving to the basket, that made Jakob more able to be said. Jakob is a two-way center now. You know, before that, you couldn't probably say that. You'd probably say Jakob's a great defensive center and rebounder. But after this year, you could actually say that Jakob is a two-way player because his offense got more well-rounded this year. And I love that. I love that, man. Smith saying Mitchell did the job when he was here. Remember, if he didn't get moved, Shed doesn't make the leap he did. Toronto's better off. Well, that's the design of it. Like, when Bobby and Masai acquired him last summer from Sacramento, they probably were like, you know what? Even when we just get a half year with Davion and we trade him, he's going to be so helpful in the first half of the year for the reasons I stated earlier on the show. You know, mentoring Jacoby, mentoring Jamal. And, maybe we don't trade Davion if Jamal doesn't come along so quickly just for insurance. Like maybe we can't trade him right away because in some ways Jamal Shedd's just not getting it together like Malachi did. And in some ways, that I could see that would if that had happened. So like Davion getting traded was a symbol of Jamal Shedd's progress. That we feel confident in Shed enough to be like, you know what? We don't need Davion anymore. You can be our backup point guard straight up. And that was a real vote of confidence for sure. Seymour saying both great, respectable players. No wrong or right answer here. Yeah. Yeah. In some ways, kind of similar. Kind of similar. In some ways, it's like I think that Shed may have more of the Lowry, Fred VanVleet kind of leadership tenacity than Davion in some ways. Like in some ways, Davion's a defensive specialist, but Jamal Shed is kind of like that Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet tenacity kind of leader that's going to score and do defense and kind of get the team organized and keep them like in the right headspace. Because that's important for point guards. This is something, and I'm going to bash him again, even though he's a first-team G Leaguer. Malachi Flynn never did that. He never connected with his teammates in a way that I'm a leader and I want to make y'all better around me. Jamal Shedd's doing that already. And that's the difference between a real backup point guard and a guy who's not a backup point guard. And that's why I hate Malachi Flynn, because he wasted our fucking time for 4 years at the backup point guard position when he should have been doing shit like what Shed did this year. And you can see the difference, what I'm talking about. Malachi Flynn should have always been playing more like Shed the whole time he was on our team, but he never did. He never got it. It never clicked. I don't think he's intelligent enough to figure it out, honestly. But Shed's very smart, and that's the difference. You got a high IQ. You studied sociology, Fred VanVleet. Yeah, these are smart guys. These are smart guys, Fred and Kyle and Jamal with the IQ. And I don't know if Red VanVleet had the IQ. This is something with these San Diego State guys. It's just not a very high IQ school in general. Yeah, from what I've learned from the 3 San Diego State players we've had on our team. Yeah, not the brightest. Yeah, go to LA. Yeah, okay, Kawhi. Not the brightest. Most give me the W Stream W Vibes cutoff. Yeah, we're at 116. I got a little bit of time to finagle things. I got some more segments to do real quick. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew, strong forever. Just keep helping me limit my comments. I appreciate you, Mo. I really do. Seymour, you don't have to take your comment back. Previously said, I remember IQ once said he was waiting for Drake to follow him back on IG. Yeah. In the very beginning when he showed up, was it him? It was one of the other players too that said something about that. I don't remember though. Most saying, yes, I brought up the Raptor Free Crew. The editing team is team effort. I'll bet. I mean, how much footage did they have? And the thing that they do on Open Gym that's so amazing is that when they do the later shots, like this episode that just dropped this week, they show so much unaired footage that we've never seen before. Like seeing the reaction of the people at the Kawhi press conference. And that little atrium where they have the setup for Sportsnet when they do the pregame show, it's getting under construction. They've got it turned it upside down this year. But back when they did the Kawhi press conference, it was amazing to see just how many press people were crammed into that area in that little area in the gate where the people come in for the arena. And then the people were up on the higher like balcony watching from up there too, watching Kawhi and Danny Green do their introductory press conference where Kawhi went, yeah, the laugh, and I'm a fun guy. It's just cool to see the other angles. Like when they were showing the shot with Kawhi over Joel Embiid and the big shot against Philadelphia, they showed the picture of the Philadelphia bench reacting to it. And I was like, oh, this is gold, Open Gym. Give us the other angles that we don't see. Everybody's seen all the different angles of the Kawhi shot, but we had not seen much footage of the Philadelphia team reacting when it happened. Oh, that's beautiful content for a Raptors fan. Oh, yeah, watching Philadelphia team get all dismayed at the final outcome of the Kawhi shot. This is so good. So good. But, yeah, they must have a lot of people working on that show, Mo. They just have to because there's so much going on. Yeah, Seymour saying shots fired SDSU. I mean, it's warranted. I'm sorry. I've got a sample of 3 players, and the IQ is just not up there, man. I don't know how they give out their degrees at San Diego State, but yeah, I wouldn't go there. I mean, I know these guys are somewhat like local products, but I'm talking about Jalen McDaniels. I'm talking about Malachi Flynn, and I am talking about Kawhi. Now, Kawhi is one of the greatest players of his era in the NBA, but it doesn't make him a rocket scientist. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, low IQ. I mean, it's just true. I mean, seriously. Jalen McDaniels, don't tell me that man with that body and that frame. What's wrong with his NBA career? Low IQ. I'm probably sure that's what it is. It's exactly what it is. Same thing with Malachi. That's why he can't be a point guard, because he's not smart enough to be a point guard. It's just the damn truth. Smooth Brown Man saying Shed was a 4-year player with Houston, a finished product, a desire to improve. Flynn, I have no idea what the front office saw in him. Total waste of time. He was really good in university. He was a very good defensive player, and his offense was very attractive, but the playmaking was never there. I don't know why they thought he was a playmaker. I mean, in some ways, I get it for like defensive chops and his ability to score and pro-ams. Hello, we can see he can fill it up. But the man was never ever a point guard, honestly. He's always been like a shooting guard, really, the way he plays. He never set anybody up hardly at all in any kind of good way. I mean, I understand. He was playing with Stanley Johnson and DeAndre Bembry and people like that. But still, the man didn't progress even when he had other years. And the crazy thing was, over the years of Malachi Flynn, they kept bringing him back every year and keep giving him the chance to be the backup point guard. He never flourished. He had like 4 years to try on the Raptors, and never once in those years did he get any development curve going towards what we needed from him. And I'm sorry if I'm bashing on San Diego State today, but in some ways, these guys annoy me, all three of them, for different reasons. That's right. Trevor's saying, I think the Raptors defense is going to be very difficult for a lot of teams next season, maybe better than OKC. I like that. I like that statement. I mean, it starts with Scott. It's conveyed with Blockob. It's conveyed with Shed and different kind of players stepping up. Oshai Abaji, hey, we get different players that are willing to take their bodies and put them on the line, like Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter. These guys are willing to stand in front of people and take charges. There's a lot of different aspects of our defense. Jonathan Mobo, he can make huge leaps defensively with more veteran time, with knowledge and matchups, and just kind of getting more, what's the right word? More efficient with his movements on the court. Like, once he understands what he's really doing and he's confident, he could be a whole other level of a defensive player. There's like the comparison to Achua is always there. And in some ways, that's the kind of defensive stuff he may be able to do more and more. I'd like to see more blocks from Jonathan in the future. I'd like to see him get more muscle and be able to strong arm and hold people defensively also. So, yeah, there's a lot of potential to grow defensively with this young core we got. That's right. Fiercely saying the other player glazing Drake was Grady. That's right. That's who it was. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that, MJ. Most saying also field goal of all-star caliber players who guarded by Scotty Barnes. This is a really interesting stat. In fact, this is on Reddit, and Mo shared this in the chat too, and thank you, Mo, for that. Seriously, I'm gonna give you a dunk for your fantastic stats in the chat yesterday. It was like you really were on point with this defensive field goal stuff. I was really happy to see it. So I'm gonna give Monique a dunk right here. 51. All right, you're up there, Mo. Yeah, what was I going to do? I wanted to go look at that stat. Yeah, all right, we're going to Raptors Reddit, and they're saying, first of all, they're saying that Davion Mitchell really just got Miami in the playoffs. Glad to see our old boy performing well. Stings a bit, but still good to see. Why does it sting a bit? Why does it sting a bit? It shouldn't sting a bit, Raptors Reddit. It shouldn't. Yeah, pretty cool what he did. Scotty Barnes is that guy. Here's the post right here. Field goal percentage of all-star caliber players when guarded by Scotty Barnes in the 2024-2025 regular season. This is Stat Defender is the account. Joel Embiid, 0%. Whenever Scotty was guarding him, he shot 0. Anthony Edwards, 0%. Tyler Hero, 20%. Kawhi Leonard, 22%. Kevin Durant, 28%. Bam Adebayo, 28%. Cade Cunningham, 28%. Jaylen Brown, 28%. Jimmy Butler, 33%. Darius Garland, 33%. Jalen Brunson, 33%. Luka Doncic, 33%. Jalen Williams of Oklahoma City, 33%. Jason Tatum, 37%. And Anthony Davis, 37%. Does Scotty Barnes have the potential to be a number one option on a championship caliber team someday? Yes, he does. Because that's crazy. Those are some of the top offensive players in the league, and those are their field goal percentages when Scotty Barnes is guarding them. Fantastic stuff. I mean, you saw that list that we just went over that Mo's presented us. That's crazy. that he gets them to shoot so poorly, all those guys. Continuing with Raptors Reddit and looking at some more of their posts. On the Out the Mud podcast, they're talking about Marc Gasol talks about the Kawhi shot. He also discusses Kawhi's defense on Giannis in 2019 Eastern Conference. He said his position defensively was always flawless. You did need to build a wall when Kawhi was in the game. Yeah, y'all, I highly recommend that podcast. I posted in the comments for yesterday, Out the Mud with Zach Randolph, Tony Allen, and Marc Gasol. It's such a good interview. You guys should watch it. It's very, 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 very good. Very, very good. Raptors Reddit is asking, the Bulls just fired Peter Patton, the player development coach who greatly improved player shooting this season. Possible coaching pickup for the Raps? I don't know. I mean, listen, this is the thing. And I didn't bring this up. I should have. Darko said a lot about his team, his assistant coaches. And one of the things he learned this year was he wanted to trust his assistant coaches to do more and to really use their strengths. So he put a lot more on them, and they came through big time. So he loves his assistant coaches. He loves the nucleus of coaches he has right now. So I don't know if he's interested in adding anybody to the staff right now, but maybe. I mean, if this guy's the right fit and he has a prior relationship with Darko, that may be possible. I mean, I don't know. Reddit is always getting crazy ideas. But I mean, if there's a really good shooting coach that just came out of the Bulls and you've seen the increase for the Bulls, maybe it's somebody they look at. But right now, Darko was very, very happy with the job that his assistant coaches did this year in support of him in coaching the Raptors. So, and something that I don't know, like if there actually would be like that. Yeah. All right. That's me reacting to Raptors Reddit. All right, y'all. Let's do the straight goods on Canadian goods real quick. And today's restaurant that I'm promoting today is Jack Astor's. Yeah, Jack Astor's is Canadian restaurant. If y'all know Jack Astor's, or you have one in your neighborhood, feel free to eat there. And you'll be supporting a Canadian company, Canadian owned, Canadian operated. Jack Astor's Steakhouse. That's right. They've got some interesting things on their website. They're very proud to be Canadian. Poutine pride, maple syrup swagger, and a healthy obsession with being too nice. Welcome to Jack's, where we're proudly Canadian owned and operated. That's right. So if y'all want to support Canada in this tariff war and different kinds of things, I'm just going over different companies and restaurants that y'all can go and support, and you will not be going to an American chain. And that's what I'm trying to say right here. So Jack Astor's is my highlight of the day. Y'all can eat at Jack Astor's, get you a steak. Steak at Jack Astor's? Go to Jack Astor's at Yonge and Dundas Square and sit out on the patio looking over Yonge and Dundas Square. And, well, if you go down there tomorrow, well, you might get a little contact high. Yeah, I was talking to Naco the Nacho. I'm thinking might go hang out with him down at Yonge Dundas Square tomorrow for 420. Because that's something I've done in the past. I've gone to Yonge and Dundas Square for decades on 420 at different times. Not every year, but I've gone at least 5 or 6 times in the last 20 years. Before they legalized marijuana, I used to go down there and smoke out on 420 at Yonge and Dundas Square. And it's awesome because it's a huge thing. There's so many of us down there. And before it was legal, we'd be down there and the police would be watching us. And all of a sudden at 420, we all light up. And, man, everybody is getting high around us. It's like that whole area of Yonge and Dundas Square between the Eaton Center, the old Hard Rock Cafe, and Jack Astor's and all that I just named. It becomes one big chimney of cannabis smoke that just fills up and comes up like everybody's working the offices near there. They're getting the contact high too. Yeah, so maybe if you go to Jack Astor's at Yonge and Dundas Square tomorrow, you might get a little extra with your meal. If you sit outside on the patio, that's right. There you go. Jack Astor's. Canadian owned and operated. Y'all eat there with fully no worries about that. Yeah. Most saying that tell you Joel is weak in reference to stat defender to be first. Yeah. Joel, Scotty did a good job guarding him. I mean, we got to give credit though. In some ways this season, Joel Embiid was hurt pretty much the whole entire season. I don't think Joel was healthy at all this year. So in some ways that probably affects his stats on that, but I like that Scotty could stop him. And he's 0% when he was guarding him. That's amazing right there. I like that. Yeah. Let's see. Wayne's saying that morning Raptor Freaks, Masai gets good deals because Raptors ex-players most times end up in good spots for their careers. Contrary to the dum-dums, players know Toronto is a blessed location. Yeah, they did. Davion is solid. I mean, look, he was a good citizen. He was a good teammate. He was a good mentor. He was a good leader in the time he was on our team for half a season. And, well, they did him a solid. They put him on a place where he really wanted to be. And that's fantastic. Not every team's going to do that. Dame Lillard was not allowed to go to Miami by the Portland Trailblazers because they were mad at him in some ways. I get that. Kawhi ended up coming to Toronto partly because of this with the Spurs. And boy, did that work out in all kinds of ways. But, it's just how it is. And, the Raptors try to work with their players. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk did not get too upset about going to New Orleans. And I mean, it's a business. They know it's a business. In some ways, they just know. Yeah. James is saying, Lex, what's your favorite strain? I smoke sativa. I smoke sativa exclusively. I don't even smoke hybrid. I try not to smoke any indica percentage at all because in some ways it affects me in bad ways. I know some people are the opposite. They can't smoke sativa and they only smoke a indica. And right now, I don't like very strong cannabis, so I'm smoking Gene Guy. Yeah, Gene Guy. It's Jean-Guy, or whatever. That's the strain I primarily smoke because it's easy and it's cheap and it's not that it's mild. Some of the stuff that they're coming out with is such a high percentage of THC that it's dangerous. It's really crazy. Some of the legal weed, how strong it is. It's way different than it was when it was illegal. Weed is way stronger now when it's sold legally. And in some ways, I'm aware of that. So I get the milder Jean-Guy, but I like to call it Gene Guy when I walk into the dispensary. Yeah, give me that Gene Guy. I need an ounce of Gene Guy. And when they correct me, I always get mad at the person at the store. It's like, no, it's Jean-Guy. Jean-Guy. And I'm like, Gene Guy, right? Yeah, get your pretension away from me. So yeah, that's what I'm usually smoking, James. All right, let's keep going with the tabs real quick. I know I got more to do real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I did that. I did that. I did that. Discord. Yeah, Discord's awesome. Let's see. Oh, Kaz has joined our fantasy WNBA team. So we have one spot open. Guys, there's only one spot open in our WNBA fantasy league right now. If you want to play WNBA fantasy, you got to get to me now. Priority is first person to say something. We'll get that last spot. So we got people like Fiercey and James and Kareem and Trucker Kaz are in the league. MK, the champion, two-time champion. But we have one spot open for the WNBA Fantasy League. So if you want to play WNBA Fantasy with us, well, you got to get to me quick because whoever says it first will get the spot. Yeah, Jean Guy, I will check it out. Yeah, it's cheap. It's cheap and it's mild. And, it's the kind of thing because I'm a wake and bake guy, although I don't smoke before I do the show. I do it afterwards, but I do smoke throughout the day. And to be able to do everything that I do as far as work and different things that I do, I like a milder buzz on a sativa that doesn't make me drowsy or any kind of weird thing. It just, it calms me down and makes me feel good and kind of non-nausea and stuff like that. So yeah, Jean Guy is what I've been buying mostly for the last couple of years. Actually, I was buying it down in Toronto too. And of course, it's a strain that they sell legally all across the place. Yeah. Yeah. I know, Mo, you're not into WNBA fantasy. Yeah, I understand. I understand. It's on ESPN. It's a little bit easier to figure out in some ways than the Yahoo. But yeah, if you wanted to play, it could be your team right away. Mo, if you wanted it, is yours to have. But if you don't want it, that's fine too. And we do still need to get you into Discord. The Discord is amazing, Mo. I'm telling you right now, there's been so many good things that have been happening on Discord in the last week or so. As far as watching all the press conferences together and kind of hearing me analyze the press conference while it's going on, it's been top notch. And watching Open Gym premiere with everybody in there too. That was fun too. So it is. Yeah. But yeah, we'll do the stream for the draft on May the 4th. It's going to be the WNBA draft on a Sunday in a couple weeks. So do your research and get ready. The draft for the WNBA Fantasy League is May the 4th at 9:45 and will be happening live on this stream on that Sunday. So that's what's going to be going on. I think it's after the WNBA preseason. I'm not totally sure or when it starts. But that's when we'll draft. And we have expanded rosters this year. Last year, I didn't do as big of rosters. I added a couple spots to make it more reflective of the true WNBA rosters and the amount of players that are on them. So you guys may have to go deeper this year than last year as far as the talent pool off the waiver wire. So that, and I also made it so you have to have a center this year. Last year it was like forward center. This year, you have to have a straight up center, and no team can hoard centers. You're only allowed to have like 2 or 3 centers on your team. So, yeah. All right, let's keep going. Let's do the classic card of the day. Yay! Let's see if Smooth continue his win streak. He's won 6 in a row of the classic card. Man, this might be too easy, but we'll do it. I like this card. It looks pretty. Looks pretty. This is really easy. This is a 50-point card. Whoever's going to get this, you better get it quick because it may be gotten pretty fast. So full name answer. Reggie, are you here? To see if you keep your streak. Here you go, guys. Who is this classic card of the day? It's a really nice art piece. It's a man. Everybody should know who this player is. This guy is a big time player, and he was somebody who was very, very important. There you go. Isaac's going to come in and get it. Look at that. The benevolent one's going to get Tom Chambers of the Phoenix Suns. Look at that beautiful artwork. He was a dashing man, right? He's a dashing guy. Yeah, I think Tom Chambers is still around the Suns as a alumni. I think he might be doing broadcasting for them. I'm not totally sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, Isaac Campbell has broken Smooth Brown Man's streak, and Tom Chambers is the card of the day. His little side part with the white jersey, he looks kind of like Ed Nealy on that side, though. It's like Tom Chambers and Ed Nealy on the same card. You guys know Ed Nealy, right? Ed Nealy. No, that's Tom Chambers. Of course, Tom Chambers had that crazy dunk that like he went up in the air and dunked it, and then they put it in the video game, and it looked like he was dunking from the 3-point line. It was crazy. Always good to see my guy Isaac, a member of the channel, supporting the channel. Isaac, you are the best, man. Thank you for supporting my channel for so long, as a monthly member for so long right now. I want to really give you guys all the credit in the world, the people that are supporting the channel like that. But 50 points for you on the awesome Tom Chambers art card. That's a really nice card. I like this card. It looks cool, and it's a good likeness of him. Sometimes the drawings of people are not exactly right, you know, on these kind of things, you know, like a Dwayne Wade statue. Dwayne Wade statue. Oh, yeah, a little throwback there. Wayne saying Pacers versus Bucks. Dallas out is good. Yeah, I think it's good that Dallas is out. It's good for PR. Houston versus Warriors. Denver versus Clippers. Which ones you really want to sit and watch? Nuggets versus Clippers looks good. Okay, so these are a couple of series right here. I mean, there's some real intrigue. I think that the Thunder and the Grizzlies is going to be a very, very interesting first round. I think Houston and Golden State is a fantastic first round matchup. Also, really, really interesting stuff there. And Nuggets and Clippers is interesting too. I mean, the Nuggets are in decline. They just fired their coach, and Kawhi's healthy, so things are kind of set up for LA to do something in the first round against the Nuggets. Seriously, yeah. Trevor's saying I already made my arrangement with my friend in Vegas for Summer League. That's right. We're going to have Commissioner Jay on site at NBA Summer League. We're going to get him to infiltrate the Raptors ballroom practice area. Trevor, you're going to go in there this year, and you're going to get pictures of the Raptors ballroom practice area at Wynn Casino. You better do it, man. I want you to get in there and get those pictures, Trevor. But yeah, Trevor's going to be at Summer League in Vegas this summer. Our RFF representative. That's right. You know, the other matchup, Wayne, yeah, Pacers versus Bucks. It's kind of humdrum. It's like a matchup that we've seen so many times over the years in the NBA. In some ways, it's not as exciting to me. But yeah, I'm definitely going for the Pacers in that one. Yeah, let's see. What else do we got to do here? Maybe I'll do the rundown and get out of here, y'all. Let's do that. Davion Mitchell, we love you, man. That's why we're sharing love for you this morning on the Share the Love Club on a Saturday. Fantastic job this week in the play-in for the Miami Heat, my guy. And, man, I hope that you can do something against Donovan in this first round against the Cavs. It's going to be a tough, tough order. You know, a lot of people are picking Evan Mobley to be the Defensive Player of the Year. I hate that. I'm promoting Zubac. I want Zubac to win Defensive Player of the Year. I do not want Evan Mobley to win it. I do not. If somebody's going to win the Defensive Player of the Year, give it to Ivica Zubac of the Clippers, please. Please. Or give it to Scotty Barnes. How about that? How about that? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Y'all eat it, Jackasters, and realize you're supporting Canada. It's a really good thing. And also, go down there and vote. You can early vote right now from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at your advanced polling sites in your area. Just look on your card. It will tell you where it is, and you should go do it. This is such an important election. Everybody needs to vote. Do not sideline. If you didn't vote in other elections ever in your life, you need to go do it this time. This may be the most important election of our lives. We've said this every single time, but this is really feeling like it this time, guys. Seriously. I did Raptors Reddit. Discord is fun. I hope maybe I'll see you guys in Discord a little bit in the future. And today, let's see. Happy birthday to Kelly Olynyk. As I said, it's Kelly's birthday today, guys. And Kelly is 34 today. Happy 34th birthday, Kelly Olynyk. Yeah, he's up there. And also, a happy birthday to former Raptors scout and Raptors coach, assistant coach, Mike Evans. Mike Evans played in the NBA as a player in the late 70s, early 80s. And, well, he became a scout with us early on in the 2000s. And then he was an assistant coach with us from 2007 to 2009. So happy birthday to former Raptors assistant coach Mike Evans, and also to Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk, Captain Canada, Barbarito forever, my guy. Barbarito forever. In fact, Kelly did a whole recap of his season this year, and he didn't put any pictures of him on the Raptors. And in some ways, maybe he was upset that he got traded out, because he did say he wanted to retire as a Raptor. And we did kind of want to see that, but the trade had to happen to get Brandon Ingram, and this is just a business. So when Kelly Olynyk put out his end of season pictures of his season with Zion Williamson and a lot of Pelicans pictures, he didn't put a single picture of him in the Raptors jersey, but he did put the picture of him in the Barbarito advertisement. So a highlight of this year was being Barbarito spokesperson with Grady Dick, at least this year, as far as his Toronto time. But yeah, Kelly, we love you. And yeah, just don't goon any of our players in the rest of your career. Come on now. Don't be playing dirty like you and Goran did when you were on Miami against Kyle and DeMar. We don't need that kind of energy coming back against us. He might have it because he's a little upset with us trading him. Probably not, but maybe. All right, let's see. Is there anything else? No, I think that's it. I'm going to get out of here, guys. And I appreciate everybody watching the Raptor Freak stream once again. Tomorrow's going to be a special report. And, well, tomorrow's going to be a little bit of a serious special report. I wanted to look at a topic that's very, very serious about things right now in this world with the Toronto Raptors. I don't want to sensationalize this. I don't want to make people scared. I just want to talk about it in a very clear, concise way that's fair about where we're going in this world today and how that might affect the Raptors. And it's like, I don't want to talk anything into existence either. But this is a topic that a lot of people in the mainstream media will not probably talk about very openly, but I will here on my channel. And that is the current state of affairs in the United States politics. How could that affect the Raptors in the future? And we need to talk about this, even if it's scary and even if it's a little bit like, what the is going on? I'm totally with you guys on that, man. Yeah, let's see. Trevor's saying, I have another game for the channel, but I'm waiting to see what my friend brings me. Then I'll tell you all about it. Ooh, okay. All right, Trevor. All surprises are always welcome. Fun stuff, at least, hopefully. All right, thanks for watching the Raptor Freak channel. Davion Mitchell, you're Raptors alumni forever now, and we love you in Raptors Nation. So feel free to come back to Canada and Toronto anytime. You'll get a hero's welcome. And, I know you'll come back and play against us at some point, and we'll see you play against us. But when you retire, like I said, in anniversary seasons, you could be one of those guys that just comes to the game and waves to everybody. Some people say, oh, you were only on the team for half a year. It's not worth it. No, you can do that. Just like I wish Charlie Villanueva had came and waved to everybody, even though he was only on our team for his rookie year. Any of these guys who wore the Raptors jersey at any point, seriously, in some ways, you're special to me. That's why I do birthdays for everybody who wore the Raptors jersey. Everybody gets their birthday announced on this show. And it doesn't matter if you played 1 minute for the Raptors. If you are officially a Raptor at one point, we honor and cherish you on this channel in the most part, as long as you've been in good standing with us, except for people like Rudy Gay, stuff like that. All right. I appreciate everybody for coming in and hanging out with me this morning. Tomorrow's going to be a heavy subject, but it's something that I feel like we do need to talk about. And that's the Raptors in this place, in this political world we're living in right now. All right. I appreciate everybody. I love y'all. Let's go Raptors every single day. Let's go Tempo. Let's go Raptors 905. Let's go Canadian men's and women's basketball. And let's go Canada and vote. Seriously, vote like your life depends on it, because it does. It really fucking does. Seriously. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptor Freak family. Woo! Let's go!